part of why I like, what we're doing with the podcast and being able to talk is because I think there are people out there that are married and enjoy being married and like don't talk about it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the other thing you made me think about is, I want to, again, sort of as an alternative or like in place of the perception that like, I'm just saying like, one, nobody has problems, or two, if they have problems, like they shouldn't, they just stop having problems, like just fix it. I do want to, I would wish to get to the bottom of like, why are people having problems? And you and I have sort of speculated in different directions about, like, I think people do have more problems today because of several different things that I'm happy to list. But you've said like, no, I think people have just always been miserable. They're just like, I guess I'm just miserable. That's my life. And I think it's more likely that, one, because people were committed to the idea like, no, I'm married, and so I've got to make this work.
Right.
There's no exit. So I'm not going to like complain about it on my way out the door. I'm going to like, I'm here, so I'm going to stop complaining about it. I'm going to fix it.
Right.
But I think also, I have this pet hypothesis that like, well, no, people used to have a lot more support, and I think they had a lot more preparation for marriage. One other thing I was thinking about a lot as I was doing that bonus episode and thinking about like how increasing college education has changed society is I think it used to be everybody spent their teens and 20s in their home community with their families and long-standing friends until they found somebody to get married to and move into their own house. But now it's like, no. Now we're going to spend 4 or 8 years like away from your family on a campus just full of co-eds with no responsibilities and just like money to burn. Just checks are coming in, nothing to spend it on, nowhere to be outside of like a few hours a day in some class. Like, well, I have no, one is it's just, it invites irresponsibility. But two, I think that those are years that you could have been spending watching after your little younger siblings or cousins, or helping your mom or dad, like doing all kinds of things domestically. Even if you yourself are not yet married or have your own children, you're involved in a family structure.
Right. And
now we've said for a couple generations of, no. Use all that time to just like do your own thing. Yeah. Just be a solo operator out there in the world.
Gosh, it was great.
No responsibilities. Well, what that means is once you do get married, you're like, you have years less of training than your counterpart did 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge detriment.
You will never, ever get me to speak ill of my 20s.
You're like living high on the hog with no responsibilities was the best.
It was the best. Like I mean, for a number of reasons. Like, so like all like funny, jokes aside, but seriously, like I am not a person to be like, my 20s were the best. Because like I actually think like everything's the best. Like I love now, and like I think being a mom and a wife and having kids and being on a podcast is the best. And I think I have like the best job. And like I love life.